Okay, we have one last problem here. We have the integral of 12x squared divided by 5 times the cubed root of 6x cubed minus 7. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the thing that looks the worst. To me, that is 6x cubed, the thing that's in the cubed root. So 6x cubed plus 7, minus 7. Take the derivative of both sides. We have du is equal to 18x squared plus 0 dx. So we have a couple options. I can try to figure out what would multiply to 12/5 to make it 18 or whatever we're missing to get the 18. I could factor out something that's in common, so I could factor out a 6 and make it 6x squared and make that a 3 du equals 6x squared. But honestly, the easiest thing that we can do every single time is move those constants over. So I have 1/18 du is equal to x squared dx, and we're going to go ahead and just move that constant out. So I'm going to go ahead and move these constants out. So we have 12 over 5, and then our integral. So now we want to get rid of what we have. So we have the cubed root of u, and so now we have gotten rid of all of this. So we have x dx, which we have said is now 1/18 du. So I have 1/18 and du. I don't really feel like thinking about the coefficients right now, so I'm going to move that coefficient out too. So I have 12 over 5. I have 1 over 18. We can figure out something to do with it later. And then I have 1 over the cubed root of u. I need to change what that looks like. So I have the integral of u. The third root is the 1/3 power. It's in the denominator, so we're going to make it negative 1/3. And then we use power rule. So we're going to add 1 to the exponent. So we're going to have u to the 2/3, and then divide by it. Or in this case, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 3/2. And then I'm going to add c. And then I can already go ahead and plug u back in, even though I have all of these constants out front. We can kind of move some stuff around in a second. So u in our case was 6x cubed minus 7. So I have 6x cubed minus 7 to the 2/3 power plus c. So let's kind of clean up these constants out front now, and then potentially move it back around with the 2/3 power. Everything we do after is just simplifying it in whatever way we feel like to potentially get it to a multiple choice answer. So looking at this, I'm going to see things that kind of cancel each other out. So if I look here, 12, I can make it 12 divided by 2. I can make it 3 over 18 and 1/5. So I'm going to kind of move these around. I probably wouldn't write this out, but we're going to right now. So I have 12 over 2. I have 1 over 5, and I have 3 over 18. Twelve over 2 is 6. And I'm going to put the 1/5 with it. 3 over 18 can be reduced to 1 over 6. And then if I look here, we have a 6 on top, 6 on bottom. So we're multiplying by 6 divided by 6, so we really have a 1/5 here. The only other thing we might do is change this back. So this is really 1/5 or everything that we have divided by 5. So we have the cubed root of 6x squared minus 7, but all of that is being squared, or it's being squared on the outside. We're dividing it all by 5 plus c. How we simplify it, how we reorganize it, all of that is just dependent on what we're solving. If it's a multiple choice question, we may have to write it in a different way than we would normally. So I may have to go all the way down. If it's not, I can stop pretty much wherever and then I'm done. So if this is a free response question, I could leave it just like that and be done as long as I've done everything correctly. So we just need to be a little bit careful, but also just do what we can.